Hi class, this quick video is pertaining to chapter 5 as it relates to business ethics. Some of you might think that there's really no such thing as business ethics based upon some of the scandalous stories that we've heard in the news in recent past. But we also know that we sometimes make decisions about where we're going to spend our money and what businesses we're going to frequent based upon how they operate, what their moral values are, and what their ethical code of conduct is. This is becoming increasingly popular as we find more and more companies going green to support the environment, linking with certain charitable causes, donating their profits, to various needy groups, and we think that this is important as evidenced by the growth of those kinds of businesses. What I want you to take away from this chapter is an important understanding of how a business sets its ethical tone. And we could apply this to regular decision making in our daily life. If we strive to lead a moral and ethical life, we have to make decisions on a regular basis, just like businesses do. The things that a business must take into consideration in order to make ethical decisions primarily is, number one, the law. You have to comply with the law. Just complying with the law does not make you an ethical business, however, and we can see this by doing the bare minimum. You cannot break a law, but that doesn't mean you act in an ethical manner in other circumstances where the law doesn't dictate what we have to do. Additionally, some professions have codes of conduct. Lawyers, doctors have codes of conduct that must be complied with. They are what I call pseudo-laws because, well, they are not legislative laws. They are laws for that profession. Additionally, most businesses of any substantial size have policy manuals that set the ethical guidelines for the employees in that company. These guidelines are essentially the internal laws for that company. We behave in a certain way, we request time off in a certain way, we handle conflicts in a certain way, and a person who violates those internal policies can suffer consequences such as losing their job. And finally, the moral tone that is set by upper management will dictate how the rest of the employees will function. Okay, now, what difference does it make how a business operates its ethics? The impact is on the stakeholders. There are various stakeholders in every establishment. Some of these stakeholders are the employees themselves, the owners of the business, the investors or financial backers of a business, the community where the business is, the other businesses in that community are affected by the ethical decision making of an individual business, and we can even go so far as to say that society as a whole and the environment are stakeholders in the business decisions that everyone makes. Now, how do we make these decisions? Well, we do a couple of things. We first inquire all the facts. We get all the facts. Then we discuss them with our trusted advisors. Then we actually make a decision. We evaluate the impact of that decision, and we determine whether we would repeat the same decision in the future. Now, there's a couple of schools of thought that are philosophies about ethics. Some of the most common schools of thought are the categorical imperative school of thought, which means if I act in a certain way, what if everyone else acted in that same way? What would the outcome be? Categorical imperative. If everyone did the same behavior, would the outcome be okay? Secondly, the concept of utilitarianism. What I am doing has a greater good for more people than it has harm. We also equate this with a cost-benefit analysis. If the benefits outweigh the costs, then we use that as our guideline and we do that behavior. This doesn't always equal the right behavior. Cost-benefit analysis. If I take money away from a rich person and give it to a poor person, I may be complying with the cost-benefit analysis, but I may not be doing the right thing. As you can see, it's very difficult to reach ethical decisions, but I want you to consciously think about what the ethics are involved in your day-to-day decision making, as well as the ethics that you see in the business world around you. Okay, That's it for chapter 5. I'll be back with you again later.